a multi or how to be a multi-orgasmic man, and what does it look like and how does it feel like and what's the shape and form of doing that in day-to-day life. And I feel like for many men especially, there's this concept of wanting to be multi-orgasmic and wanting to learn the new things to do that. And ultimately what I find, it's really there's a grace and a ease in life to be allowing life force to come through. And I say that especially recently, I've seen, to really let life force go through, you can have contraction, you can have constriction. So if you're having any constriction or contraction in your life, then it's quite difficult to allow life force to move through your body. So that's really just a very point blank place to start, because I think men especially, we hold a lot of tension. So even right now as you're listening to this, can you let go, and allow more ease and grace to flow through your body as you're listening here? Do you find yourself tight and need to figure this out? I Googled and researched multi-orgasmic, and now I need to figure out how to do it. It's like, can you let go?
You know, in the afternoon, there was a woman I met, and so I told her that, okay, I'm busy in the evening. And she was like, what are you doing? I said, Instagram Live. She asked me what topic. I said, multi-orgasmic man. And she's just looking for a few seconds on my face. Who are these species? Who are they? Like, she was like, what are you talking about? Who are these men? Keep me introduced. So because first, I think to learn about Z, we need to learn about A, B, and C. So let's yeah, as you said that there's a lot of tension and effort people go into, the moment they hear multi-orgasmic or semen retention. So then people go a lot into mind, and it becomes more a challenge. I've seen, with few of the lovers, like for the masculine, they instead of them enjoying the pleasure, they go too much in their head and controlling. So yeah, please throw some light, Aaron, from your experience. What do you have to say about it?
Yeah, I mean, people are in their head, and that's part of the society that we live in. And when they meet this field of Tantra, it's like often, even if they've got there in the first place, that's a great step. But secondly, they're still trying to logically understand what the next step needs to be. And that the greatest gift a man can give himself, especially as he drops into his body, is letting go of his mind's need to control. Because when the mind is trying to control the outcome, then there's still contraction and constriction inside the body. So the way that that changes is beginning to surrender into a deeper place in the body. And as you surrender into a deeper place in the body, what that requires is beginning to feel. So to feel isn't a logical, intellectual concept. It's a felt sense inside the cells of our being that isn't a piece that we can grasp onto intellectually. And it's really very simple feelings. I'm sad, I'm happy, I'm angry, I'm frustrated. And, feelings are not a mental construct. That concept right there, someone listening can get that. That can be a game changer. That can be a total shift, because when I go into the feeling body, and especially men who are in relationship, or male bodies that are in relationship with female bodies, often there's this concept, a female body saying, I want you to feel more. And the man's like, but I don't know how to feel more. And he's wanting to feel more, but it's very simple. It's like you turn off your mind. What's the feeling in the gut? I'm a little bit like, or and you go into just the more underneath layer. But when you're trying to explain your feelings, that's not a feeling, that's a mental construct. And you might ask, well, I came here to figure out how to be multi-orgasmic. But to be multi-orgasmic means that you need how to move your emotional body. You need to know how to move your emotions through your body. Emotions are energy in motion, and to be multi-orgasmic is energy in motion, because the energy isn't getting stuck at your pelvis. To be multi-orgasmic means that when life force, when sexual energy has been rising up, you then can move it and can channel it to the other limbs inside your body by breathing, sounding, and moving because you've already been exercising your emotional body.
So there is no escape for men from emotions, yeah?
No, can't, can't run away from the emotions. No, no.
Can't run away. I hope everybody is listening. And second thing, naturally, for being tantric, I observed, with a non-tantric man, and he was my lover for 4 years, and he was not at all into tantra. But for him, it was very easy whenever he wanted to not come because he really loved. He was connected from heart with me. So that's why his sex center and heart center is connected. And he wants to go long and long because he's enjoying, he sees me enjoying. So, what do you have to say? So, if men are really connected from their heart with the women, is it easier for them to move the energy upwards? And they would like to, long last and go on and on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first to that point is for a man to last longer, he has to let that energy rise from his base, from his penis, from his sex center up into his heart. Because really what happens in sexuality is that a man's heart a man's heart opens in sexuality. Initially, his cock gets turned on and he's like, okay, I'm ready to go. But then as time goes on, his heart starts to feel more connected. And as his heart starts to feel more connected, then he's like, oh, there's something more to this love-making situation than just having a 3-second ejaculatory sneeze. So part of being multi-orgasmic is allowing that energy to rise up from the base into the heart. And as the heart opens more, what I found for myself was very similar to what your partner was saying, is that I wanted to last longer because my heart felt more open and I was enjoying it more. And then by wanting to last longer, I had to start to learn some of the tools and the tips and how to do that and how to breathe and how to, contract and how to move the energy. But there was an initial desire of two. I wanted sex to go on for more than 5 to 10 minutes, and now I liked it to go for 2 to 3 hours sometimes. And just, making love is a beautiful experience, and it's a beautiful way to allow energy to cycle through the body. And there's really, and it comes in ebbs and troughs, ebbs and flows. It's like sometimes there's a crescendo, but then because the mind is aware and dropping into the body, I want to come back down. And then you rise back up. And then actually by the time, if there is an ejaculation, if that's what your choice is, then when that ejaculatory energy comes through you, it's like it's been building and building and rising up. And then as it then comes through, there's that much more space for the energy of the life force orgasm to move throughout the body. And it's no longer just like, yeah, oh, okay, there it was. Okay, now I can go to bed. It's like, no, you're moving, you're flowing, you're gracefully allowing life to cycle through your whole body.
So if we have covered, let's take it step by step. First, as you said, emotional, movement, emotional body movement that can help men to move their sexual energy and ejaculation control. I would say like a choice of ejaculation, that you
Mm,
ejaculate when you really want to ejaculate. So you have a choice and
hmm
not just that you release and you have no choice. Secondly, if you're connected with the heart, yeah. And third comes also the tools and technical techniques. Yeah.
hmm hmm
Any other point you think we missed out?
It's no, that's pretty clear. That's pretty, straightforward. There's a lot of other little things you can do, but like try not to overcomplicate it because men have a very simple brain and we like to just break things down quite simply.
Okay, so I hope I helped the men who are listening us to make their pointers, and you can still ask us or send us the question if you have any.
Of course.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so what is the benefit, Many times, people ask us, okay, semen retention. Now, what's the benefit? Men,
Mm.
like we had one question that, okay, I can retain my semen, but now from here, what? You know?
Mm. Yeah, well, for what it's like, if you can imagine, you and I are having this conversation because semen and egg met. So you're a very powerful being, I'm a powerful being. There's a lot of power inside of a tiny little million seed that comes out of a man's testicles. So when a man asked me that question, I said, well, what would it feel like to retain that power more in your body rather than just releasing it? So, and there's two pieces really to semen retention. One, as you're transmuting and basically shifting the energy from your testicles into your body, then literally those seeds are going to shift energetically into more powerful life force that moves throughout your whole body. So that's a deeper date with power rather than it just being stuck in the testicles and not being able to go anywhere. So it's not really retaining it in the testicles, it's expanding it out into the whole body. And then you feel more alive, you feel more full of
Juicy.
life force, juicy, exactly. And secondly,
And
you
you
know,
become actually a very magnetic man, like women would be like just swarming all around you. It's not a challenge then.
exactly, exactly. They're like, I want some of this in my life. This feels good.
Yeah, yeah, because you become so full and energetic, and more, I think also it works on your focus, it works on your mind, how to calm it also, because if a man really gets this choice of coming and not coming, then he can also control somewhat his mind and thoughts.
And
And
it becomes more present. He becomes more centered, and it's like his entire body literally becomes aligned into his central channel or his Sushumna nadi. So the central channel is where energy begins to move through the whole body, and that alignment is supporting him to then be able to have the choice of, hey, I don't want to release my seed. And it's not that he has control over his orgasm. And that's a big shift. It's not, I'm controlling my orgasm, because men usually think control is a mind thing. It's, I'm choosing and I'm having an awareness of the power of my seed, and I'm consciously present that if I release my seed every day, 5 times a day, then energetically I'm not going to be as strong. So I'm not one of those Tantra teachers that says, thou shall never ejaculate. But what I am saying is we can differentiate between ejaculation and orgasm. And by differentiating between the two, I can still be multi orgasmic without releasing my physical semen in lovemaking. I can utilize my semen upon choice to create powerful intentions, and that's into the world of sex magic, which can be another whole conversation. But really, in that choice, in that awareness of that choice, then I'm differentiating between I'm breathing, sounding, and being multi-orgasmic. And secondly, then if I want to release my semen in doing that, it's a conscious awareness of how my semen is going to be utilized for my intentions.
exactly. So I hope you're listening the benefits of semen retention, how you can, because immediately people start asking, okay, what would I gain if I'm a multi-orgasmic man? Yeah,
Hmm.
people always want to connect profit, loss, gains. So here you go.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah. And we received today, we posted in the stories for people to send us the questions about today's session with us. So one
Hmm.
of the man, and it's actually quite a common question, wherein he asked that how many times can I ejaculate,
Hmm.
daily
Hmm.
or monthly or weekly? What do you have to say?
Well, there's a great chart. I don't know it off the top of my head, but I think you can go online and look up Mantak Chia, who has a book called The Multi-Orgasmic Man, which is a great foundational place for men in this conversation. I talk about it quite a bit in the new book I have coming out called The Embodied Man. But really, it's dependent on age. Like an 18-year-old man can ejaculate a lot more, and he's not going to notice a change in his life force and his creative potential and etc. A 80-year-old man, if he's ejaculating every day, he's going to feel that because there's just not as much of that creative juice that's being recreated there. So for me, I'm a 38-year-old man, and really the suggested amount is, maybe once a month. And that's probably, if I look at, my self-pleasure, my connection to my body, lovemaking, it's probably around once a month that I have a full ejaculation. Sometimes not even that. Sometimes it can be 2 or 3 months. So my suggestion to any of you who are asking that question is A, listen to your body. Like there's times, where it might be once a week and it might be more than that. But in general, that's what feels good to me. If I'm having an ejaculation every day, then I can notice a difference in my life force. I can notice a difference in how much power I'm holding because I'm choosing to bring that seed in, which is then increasing my power. So yeah, take a look at your age, your timeline, your energy, where you're at with things, and just start to track in your own system. How do you feel the next day after you ejaculate? Do you feel more rejuvenated? Do you feel a little bit less powerful? And that I'm using that feeling word again. That means that you start to feel into your body. So that's a requirement to start to track you. It's like you're tracking your cycle in a way. It's like a woman tracks her menstruation cycle. A man can track his ejaculation cycle and how his semen is connecting into his body.
That's a very good point you made, that men can really track his ejaculation as women can track their moon cycles, and that can really help. So, I also read, and is it recommended, like, I read in one of the book that it's highly recommended for men to at least try 21 days of semen retention. Um, what do you have to say for that?
Yeah, I say for that, it's like if you've never done semen retention, like the first time I did it for, I think it was 3.5 months.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, I'm doing this thing. And at the end of that 3.5 months, I was like, okay, it was time to have that first ejaculation. But really, after that time period, that was many years ago now, I just started in a process of pretty much, one every month, every 2 months, kind of in that cycle. So, but that first initiatory time, definitely 21 days, I would recommend, without a doubt. And then just see how long you want to go, but don't make it like a contest that you're trying to achieve. This is the other thing I see men doing. I haven't ejaculated in 10 years and I'm a proud man. It's okay, beautiful, but if like that's your way of winning the game, then you're not actually winning anything. It's like there's no game to win. It's not like you're trying to win some contest where you're going to sit around a fire with men and saying, how long have you had ejaculated? Oh, I'm the longest. Oh, I win. It's like this isn't some contest that a man can win. And it's important for men to understand that because often this can just become another thing that we're trying to win.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen, especially in our Tantra world, men become very ego, like spiritual ego develops, that, oh, I am a tantric man because I can hold my retention, I can hold my semen for a month, 3 months. So we have to be very watchful.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Um, One more thing which just came very interesting to my mind, and I'm slipping it now. Yeah. Hmm. I'm getting blank right now.
That's all right. That's all good.
Yeah, but semen retention, ejaculation, anything you would like to say, it will come back to me.
Yeah, I think, I see it's getting dark on your end as well. So, yeah, I think in just kind of, bringing a completion to this, it's like to be multi-orgasmic, a man has to feel. To hold semen means that you become more powerful in who you are as a being, and these are some of the reasons. And ultimately make it your own. Like all we're talking about here are concepts. These are all concepts that you can just invite as concepts that you can understand intellectually. But to be really embodied in these pieces means that you give it a try. You try it out. You see how the flavor is. You see how it feels inside, and you begin to experiment in your body. This body temple is yours, and you can read 1,000 books that can tell you all these principles. Like the book I have coming out has a lot of principles in there, but you need to try it. You need to taste it. You need to have a flavor, an experience to see how it resonates inside your system. And then from there, you can have an embodied knowledge, not just an intellectual concept. And this is the differentiation between a multi-orgasmic intellectual concept and the multi-orgasmic embodied man.
And Aaron, what books can you recommend apart from Mantakshya, Multi-Orgasmic Man, which you already said? Any other book for, you know, men to refer when it comes to Tantra or sexuality? What would you recommend?
Yeah, another great one from many years ago from David Data, The Way of the Superior Man. It's a great book on all of these concepts. The book I have coming out called The Embodied Man, which is mastering masculinity and really talking about the head, the heart, and the balls. And yeah, I think between those three, there's lots of other books, but really an integrative approach that includes sexuality. Because there's other books that, talking about mental concepts around masculinity, but to me, the embodiment is where it begins because it's the embodiment of our life force that makes us a powerful man. And that's a very clear distinction between just intellectually, I'm going to penetrate you with my consciousness. No, I want to be able to open and penetrate you through my solar plexus, through the power of my lingam, not just in the bedroom, but also in the boardroom, because a man knows himself deeply and completely as infinitely powerful. And that power doesn't need to have power over another. And that's and again, a slight shift. It's like a powerful man isn't enforcing his power over others so he feels good about himself. He's sharing power with others so that he can embody the grace of who he really is.
Perfect. And also, we have an online course with you and Nitin, which men can refer. And it has absolutely, I think you guys covered all aspects of physical, emotional, and sexual body for men. If you want to talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this course, it's from my good buddy Nitan, who's been in this field for a long time, studied with Osho, really dove in deep into these concepts, and basically it's week after week of both of us really sharing our knowledge, sharing our wisdom for men about how to be integrated in the mind, in the heart, in the belly, in the genitals, and to learn more specific practices about how to move your emotional body, how to be have sexual mastery, and we're showing you detailed, specific ways that you can step up in how you're being a man on this planet. So you get to have, each one of us kind of on your computer guiding you week after week. There's a whole online community as well. And it's a great learning tool to expand and to open your journey into being a more integrated masculine man.
Perfect. And there is a special offer right now going on, which is only for Euro 225. And you
Amazing.
can also use the code, if you're listening this interview, you can use the code Aaron10 and can get additional 10% discount if you like on this particular course. And you
Perfect.
have one course coming up in US or Mexico. Where are you traveling?
Yeah, I have a course down in Costa Rica. That's called the initiation journey. So I'll be running in Costa Rica in about three and a half weeks from now, and that's a 7 day deep dive journey for men, and basically confronting all of the deepest taboos, homophobia, fear, trust, all the things that usually never get spoken about inside of men's circles. We go into an embodied experience of that. I'll be running it in Bali in February, and then next June, Nitan and I actually will be running it in Europe together in Spain. So that's going to be happening in the beginning of June in Spain. So, yeah, lots of opportunities to actually get in person with us, and to have an embodied journey into your masculinity, into your integration as who you are as a male body on this planet.
Perfect. So you have online and offline, both the options as the world is opening up. So yeah, online is just more economical, and
Yeah,
offline you have more benefits of personal interactions and of the group energy and dynamics.
of course.
Yes. Just last thing, because men often miss out on self pleasuring, because every time I have heard men generally self pleasure to come to ejaculate.
Hmm.
What would you also say on that? And yes, I wanted to ask, when you said that, okay, you were practicing 3.5 months non-ejaculation, did you have a partner at that time and you were also self-pleasuring, or you just avoided touching
No,
yourself and not going
I
there?
was
Yeah.
I was self-pleasuring, and I was making love, and I was having a partner at that first time. So, which can be a little bit more challenging because there's
Right.
a lot more desire to ejaculate when
Yeah.
your lingam is inside of a yoni. Um, so self-pleasure, the first thing I can say is take away agenda, take away needing to ejaculate, needing to go somewhere inside the self-pleasure. Let it yourself, let these hands meet your body for the first time and feel like these hands get to touch and explore your body without trying to get it to some destination. So you take away the destination and then you enjoy the journey. And the journey might include ejaculation at the end, but it does not need to. And I would actually highly recommend that it doesn't, because you're having a reintroduction, a re-meeting of your own energy, of your own body, your hands with this body for the first time, really. And just begin to explore, begin to see how does it feel like to touch your body without trying to have the agenda of ejaculation.
Perfect. Aaron, just the last question before we wrap up
Hmm.
today's call is, because, many times people think, what's the need to explore the sexuality? And it's not just about sex, it's about, as you said in the course, you are exploring, addressing fears. Yeah. Many issues which are underlying there in our root chakra, in our sexuality: fear of rejection, fear of not being loved, fear of losing out, fear of competition. Yeah. So
Hmm.
maybe you can just, talk and address that it's not just about sex, it's about much more deeper, our psychological issues, our emotional issues, and everything out
Hmm.
there.
Yeah, it's a great question, and then I see that come up a lot. It's like the deepest places of our shame, fear, guilt, inadequacy, all the things that we often haven't really addressed in our life, they're residing in our base chakra, in our lower chakras, really. And so what sexual energy is doing is it's starting to unlock some of this stuck cords of energy that are at our base. So especially with intentional conscious sexuality, I see this, in the retreats and the workshops and things that I'm leading. It's like when sexual energy can be there, then there can be like outbursts of emotion. There can be tears that somebody hasn't felt in a lifetime. There can be anger, access that they've never been able to access before. And by accessing these emotions, you're literally like, it's like there's a pipe going through your central channel of your body, and there's all this coagulation. So sexual energy is clearing out that coagulation so that more life force and more energy can flow through you, so you can be a more beneficial presence connected to the purpose of why you're here. So by going into sexual energy, you're unlocking the energetic cords in your base, the energetic stuck patterns, the limiting beliefs, the ideas that you're not good enough, the unloved parts of you, the things that you are afraid of confronting. You're unlocking all of this, and you're literally opening up your heart to the world and saying, I'm here. And I'll just put a prerequisite on that. There's a lot of people who aren't ready for that, and they want to be stuck. They want to be numb. They want to be stuck behind their computer. So don't do these things if you want to stay stuck. Don't do these things if you're ready to access like the full sovereignty of your being. Only go into these practices if you're ready to be a powerful being. And you might think, oh, that's some kind of sales tactic. It's actually not, because there's enough people probably listening to this that aren't ready for that. It's like there can be a roller coaster that rolls through your life, and everything that's not in alignment to love inside of you is going to want to start to be flushed out. And if you're not ready for that, then don't do it. And you might not be ready for it. And that's okay. It's not a competition. It's not somewhere you're getting. Take it easy. Take it graceful. Only start to, when there's willingness in your body and you realize you're hitting your head against the same brick wall over and over again, then you might be ready for something new. And when you're ready for something new, then you get to dive in and utilize these practices and principles that we're talking about.
Absolutely. I always say, and I felt myself, and I've been on this path. Spirituality is a path of courage. It tests you. It tests you in all your fronts. Sometimes
Uh-huh.
I say, "Oh my God, it's enough! It's enough." Okay, breathe again. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. So, and it happens. It happens with all of us. So, just breathe into it. Fear will come. Everything which we have been hiding, from our own self, or which we have been denying or keeping it aside, it might come up, but just keep a little bit more courage, just keep a little bit more patience, and slowly, slowly, yeah, slowly, step by step.
Exactly, exactly. Slow, slow. As we say in Bali, hati hati, which is slow, 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 slow. Take your time. Take your time.
Yes, yes. Buddha has said, Charavate, slowly, slowly. Thank you so much, Aaron, for
Thank
this
you.
lovely interview. And thank you for our listeners who have joined us. And thank you. Thanks.
Hmm.
Have a
Such,
lovely day, Aaron.
you too. Always a joy.
Yeah, yeah. Great talk. And see
Okay.
you. Bye bye. Take
Bye.
care. Bye.